Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Psychic Diaries here on veryparanormal.com. And I'm Michael Lamport, and with me, of course, is Jackie Dennison, who is the host of Rescue Mediums. And we are so lucky today to have the incredibly wonderful Lauri Loewenberg, who is a dream expert and an incredible exponent of red hair.
Oh, stop.
She's amazing. And I've known Lauri for several years. We did a show together called In Your Wildest Dreams.
Yeah.
And so I guess, without further ado, I'd like to ask you, Lauri, I don't think I've ever asked you this. When you dream, do you analyze your own dreams?
I sometimes analyze my dream while I'm in the dream having it.
How?
I know. It's not that often, but every now and then I become aware I'm dreaming while in the dream, and then I start analyzing the things that are going on and the creatures in the dream. Oh, you must represent this. And sometimes I will dream my clients' dreams. So if I've worked with someone that day that had a particularly interesting dream, elements of their dream will show up in my dream.
Huh. Now, how do you differentiate between, or any of us differentiate between like just a regular dream and or a lucid dream?
So a lucid dream,
What's the difference?
A lucid dream is when you realize it's a dream while still in the dream. You essentially wake up in the dream. And so then you can take control of it and have a lot of fun with it. A lot of people naturally become lucid within a nightmare. And the nightmare's so scary, it brings out lucidity, and then they use that lucidity to wake up and get out of the nightmare, which is a big mistake. What you should do instead is stay in the dream and ask that axe murderer or whatever's going on, what do you represent? And you will get an answer. You can use your lucid dreams for unbelievable insights into yourself and into your life, because essentially your subconscious mind and your conscious mind are working at equal levels, and they can communicate with each other. It's the coolest thing.
Do you think that like sort of people that have passed over from life, that they can influence your dreams?
I believe that they can communicate with us while we're in the dream state. And it was actually a contact dream I had of my grandfather 2 weeks after he passed that propelled me to study dream psychology. It's the whole reason I do what I do. And in that dream, I knew he was dead, and we were walking arm in arm through this museum, and I asked him, what's it like where you're at? And he said, I can't tell you that, but what I can tell you is that it's very secure. And then he gave me a hug, and he walked up the staircase, and I woke up. And I could smell his Old Spice. I could still feel him around me. And I was like, wow, what was that? And that's what made me want to study dream psychology and figure out, what is this that we do every night? Why do we do it? Does it mean anything? What is it?
Well, everybody dreams, right? I mean, I think that's true. Is that every single person in the world, and anybody that's listening to us, they all dream. And yet we don't acknowledge the dream, I think, enough as we should. And we don't learn from it.
Right.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah. You are 100% correct in everything you said. Every human being dreams. It's a natural, necessary function of the brain. Every 90 minutes throughout the night, we enter REM dream sleep. We'll have about 5 dreams on a good night. Over your lifetime, you will have had well over 100,000 dreams. And you're also correct in that those dreams are so powerful and meaningful, but so many of us don't pay attention to it, and therefore we aren't learning from it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what my purpose is to wake people up to this very powerful part of who they are. I like to call our dreams our second brain. Because it is like it's your subconscious, which is like another brain that's always working below the surface and behind the scenes, but it's a much smarter brain than our waking brain, and it's a brutally honest brain.
And you agree, don't you, with writing down like a dream diary?
Yeah, that's
like
one of the best
when you
things
wake
you
up
can
in the
do.
morning, write down.
100%. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself is to keep track of your dreams. And I highly recommend keeping a dream diary in tandem with a day journal, because they're connected. Whatever goes on today is going to be connected to what you dream about tonight. So if you write your day, at the end of the day, you write your day on the left side of your journal, what happened, what you talked about, your outstanding emotion, everything from your day on the left side. Go to sleep, have your dreams, and then when you wake up in the morning, write down your dreams on the right side. So then you have your day and your dream right next to each other, and you can more easily connect the dots and see how your dream really does correlate with what happened the day before.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm obviously going to have a dream tonight.
Do you believe, Lauri, that when we dream, and Michael asked the question about sort of connecting with spirit, obviously that's an area that interests me because I'm a medium, and you have the dream with your grandfather there. How do you explain? I know what my belief is on that, but how would you explain that? Do you think it's you astrally traveling to his vibration, or is he coming into your vibration? How would you explain a dream like that, where we dream about spirit?
Okay, I like that question a lot. I don't think it's us leaving, but rather them we are receiving their signal, so to speak. And the way I explain it scientifically is science teaches us that everything that exists travels in waves, gives off vibrations, light waves, sound waves, radio waves. Our brain works in waves. And so when we fall asleep, our brainwave pattern slows down in frequency with each stage of sleep. Once we enter REM dream sleep, it's like we're at that, our brains are working at that perfect frequency where we can tune in like a radio to the consciousness of our loved one that has passed on. And so if consciousness survives bodily death, which I believe it does, it is traveling in waves. It's an energy and it's giving off vibration. And through REM sleep, we can tune in.
Yeah, perfect answer. Because as a medium, that's exactly what I believe happens. I know you put it in a scientific way, but it's a way that you can really sort of like, oh yeah, that makes total sense as to why it's happening. I just accept it happens, you know, that my dad will visit me, or my brother will visit me, you know, or my nan, or whoever. But scientifically, for you to back that up, which of course is what you've done in your work, isn't it? You've tried to base science along with what you believe in and things that you've experienced. When did you start writing your own dream diary? When did you start doing that?
When I was little, I would draw what I could remember from my dreams. And then as I got older, I'd start writing them down. I'd say around the age of 12, 13, I started writing down my dreams. So I've got journals and journals and journals of dreams. And I had no idea what a good thing I was doing for myself. I did it just because it was fun and I wanted to be able to remember those really cool, this other life I was living. You know, and then after studying dream psychology, I was like, wow, I'm so glad I did this. You also think about it this way. When you journal your dreams, you're also extending your life, because then, you know, you have the 7 years you spend dreaming that so many of us ignore and don't pay attention to. But if you document it, that like adds 7 years to your life.
Exactly. Yeah, because we forget things, don't we? You know, if someone was to say to you, oh, what did you do when you were 9 years old? It's like, I'm going, what can I remember from that? But if you've documented it down, it's like a trigger that goes, oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah.
I don't remember what I did yesterday, so I agree with you.
I just had breakfast. I don't remember what it was.
Because some people don't remember their dreams, do they? They, they really don't. They say, I wake up and I just don't remember what I've dreamt. How would you advise someone who wants to remember their dreams? What can they do? Did they set an intent before they go to sleep?
You can set an intention before you go to sleep. Keep your journal open on your nightstand and kind of resonate with your subconscious. I'm ready to open and receive my dreams. But most importantly, when you wake up, it all depends on how you wake up is the key to remembering your dreams. When you wake up, whether it's in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or you're waking up for good to start your day, you want to stay in the exact same position you woke up in, because that's the position your body was in when you were dreaming. If you roll over, it's like unplugging yourself from that dream you were just in seconds ago. Right. So give yourself like 3 to 5 minutes of quiet, still time in your bed. Don't think about what you have to do today. Just let the dream come back to you. And then you want to write it down. And if all you're getting is just like maybe there's a song on your mind, or you just remember someone wearing really bright red lipstick, great. That's a start. Write it down. And so it's like a muscle. The more you work it, the more you make this a part of your morning routine, you'll be remembering your dreams like crazy.
Yeah.
And that helps you remember your dream.
Yeah, it then I guarantee it. You do this for at least 1 week straight, you're going to start remembering your dreams like you've never remembered them before.
We did an experiment a few years ago now. I was staying at Michael's house, and there was a group of us got together over dinner, and we decided that we were going to, because we were talking about dreams, we decided we were going to do dream journals. The whole of, I think there was about six or seven of us there, and we would write our dreams down. We'd set the intent before we went to sleep and see if we could interact with each other in dream state. We carried on probably for about 3 or 4 months doing that, and it was a fascinating experiment. I still jot all my dreams down, well, not all of them, but a lot of dreams that are significant to me. But even now, I can visit certain people, like I could visit Michael in a dream, and I haven't actually astrally traveled to his house, because that was the thing. Is that astral travel? Are we astrally traveling here, where you set the intent to move there? Or, can we interact with each other in dream states? It's really, really fascinating. Do you remember that, Michael?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we had fun. So,
Lauri, what is the difference in your mind as an expert on this between like a dream and a nightmare?
So the difference between a dream and a nightmare is that the nightmare is a dream that is so frightening, it jolts you into the waking state immediately. Whereas a dream, you tend to just sleep through it, or you just wake up naturally and peacefully. And a nightmare is actually, as horrible as they are to experience, they're very good for you, because they're alerting you to something that's wrong in your life, something that your subconscious wants you to correct. And the reason why nightmares are so upsetting and disturbing is because they are connected to your most upsetting or disturbing issues in your life right now, or perhaps even something from the past that you've never processed and dealt with healthily. And so the subconscious, well, like I said, the subconscious is a very brutally honest brain. And so the nightmare is the way the subconscious pretty much slaps us in the face and says, wake up, this needs to be taken care of immediately, enough. So when you are able to connect the nightmare to your difficult or upsetting issue, and then work to correct the difficult or upsetting issue, the nightmare will stop. It has no reason to come back.
Yeah, it's understanding, isn't it? It's understanding why you're having the nightmare. Is it something that is happening, or is it a fear that you've got that you haven't really addressed properly? It could be.
I believe it's a combination.
Right.
And the fear is because you don't know how to take care of the issue. You're afraid of the issue. You're afraid of consequences. You're afraid of facing it. So that's where the fear comes in to play. But you know, use your nightmare as a tool to slay your dragons, so to speak.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
Yes.
I do too.
I'm going to slay
Why are
some
they called
dragons.
nightmares?
What was that?
Why are they called nightmares?
Oh, okay. So I forget what country it's derived from, but mare doesn't, in this language, mare doesn't mean horse, female horse. It means fear. So that's why it's called a nightmare. It's a night fear.
Maybe it's the Netherlands.
Yeah, I think
don't
that's
know why I'm
it.
saying that. What?
I think you're correct.
Yeah, I don't know why I just thought of that. Yeah,
Your subconscious
in
must
my
have known
head.
and brought it to the surface.
That monster is coming to kill me in my nightmare. How do I get out of it?
Some people naturally become lucid in the nightmare, and then they wake up. They use it to wake up and get out of it. And like I mentioned earlier, you don't want to do that. You want to stay in it.
Yeah.
And ask, what are you? What are you trying to tell me? But if you're in a nightmare and you don't become lucid and it just has to play out, you know, you just have to roll with it. And then when you wake up from it and you're thinking about it and you're remembering it, what you want to do is pay very close attention to the emotion. Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it fear? Is it frustration? And then ask yourself, what in my real life makes me feel the same way? And then that's what the nightmare is trying to address. You want to also look at, you know, the action, every little detail in a dream, the specifics matter. Nothing's ever random. So if something's trying to kill you in a dream, it makes a difference if it's a knife or a gun. If something's chasing you in a nightmare, it makes a difference if it's, you know, a lion or you know, a Nazi soldier. These details are clues as to what the real life issue is that your subconscious is trying to help you pay attention to and correct. So use your nightmares as a tool to figure out exactly what your difficult issue is and exactly how you can begin to correct it, because everything in the dream is telling you something.
I think you're absolutely right. So I remember you telling me a couple of years ago, or whenever it was, that you've got to pay attention to your dreams because they do mean something. And whether they're nightmares or dreams, they mean something. They're like a therapy. Yeah. And it's the best therapy that we can have as human beings without paying for it.
Well, yes. And it's true. You're 100% correct. It is therapy because no one knows what you need for you than you. You can get great advice and guidance from a therapist, but the dream will tell you what part of your life and what part of you needs help better than any. I have actually worked with a lot of mental health practitioners and trained them to use dream work in their practice. And they have told me that by incorporating dream work into their practice, it has allowed them to get right to the meat of the matter in one session, which would normally take 10 sessions.
Wow.
Because you're not up against the conscious mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the subconscious can just flow and explore, you know. I suppose it's like getting someone to paint what they feel. You know, if you were to paint your dreams, it's interesting that you were saying that when you were a child, you would draw your dreams. So if someone who is not very good at putting things into words or finds it difficult to do that, they could actually draw their dream, couldn't they, to try and remember it in that way. It's
also a great thing to do with children, especially with children that are having nightmares.
Yeah.
Have them draw it out, the monster, and then take that scary thing in their dream that they drew and redraw it silly, put, you know, a tutu on it and a balloon coming out of its face. You know, it takes the fear out of the scary, and it gives the child a sense of control over what they felt they couldn't control. And ultimately with children, well, with adults too, the biggest factor of a nightmare is not having control, feeling a loss of control.
Do you think that if you, because you were talking about lucid dreams, and it's because the nightmare, we would then be having a lucid dream, so then we would come out of it, when actually you said it's better to stay in it.
Yes.
So let's just say, for example, I've just had a nightmare, and I'm waking up and I'm thinking, my heart's palpitating, and I'm going, oh my God. So I don't move, and can I get back into it to understand it? How would we do that? What would your advice be to do that? Is because you said, like, the best thing to do is not move. Is that's how you remember it. And can you program yourself to go back into it?
Well, you want to stay in the exact same position you woke up in, and try to fall asleep in that same position. And it'll raise your odds of being able to get back into the dream, but it's very likely you're just done with that cycle of REM, and your subconscious is done with that message.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So you just analyze, you just remember it and you write it down, and then you analyze it.
And then you start trying to put the pieces together. Connecting the dots to get the message.
And that's the that's the big benefit of people doing a dream diary. Is that you write it down, and you write it down, and then later on you can read them all together, and you can go like, oh, no, I see, I figured this out.
Yeah, maybe see a pattern.
You'll start seeing patterns.
Yeah.
You may keep dreaming of the same place, or a similar theme keeps popping up. And if you keep it in tandem with the day journal, you may see, oh, I keep dreaming of being attacked by a bear every time I talk to my mom on the phone.
Okay.
So that gives you a very brutally honest depiction of the dynamic of your relationship with your mom. Yeah. You're always the victim when you talk to her. And
Makes
what you
sense.
take from that is, okay, I have to change this dynamic. I'm not going to be a victim anymore.
Yeah. And then you take control in a physical way then. Have you found that during lockdown people are having more dreams, or remembering their dreams more? Have you noticed that?
Yes, it is a phenomenon that it's been trending on social media for almost a year now. I've had practically every media outlet in the world has come to me about this, from TMZ to Sky News in the UK, wanting to know what's going on. So this is one of the wonderful things that has come out of lockdown. People are starting to pay attention to their dreams because they're remembering them more. And here's why this is happening. Since we're in lockdown, we don't have to wake up to an alarm at 6 a.m, jump out of bed, start our day. We're able to stay in bed longer without the alarm. And like when we were talking earlier about all the cycles of REM sleep, every 90 minutes we dream. Every dream cycle throughout the night is longer than the previous one. So your first dream of the night will be like 5-7 minutes. Each dream after that is longer and longer. And then that last dream you have before you wake up naturally, as opposed to the alarm waking you up, can be 45 minutes to an hour long. That's the cycle of dreaming we're reaching now, which we weren't able to before. So that's why we're remembering our dreams more and why they're more vivid.
Maybe that's one of the good things, that is one of the many good things that is coming out of this COVID crises, that we're actually like looking at ourselves and our minds in a different way.
Yeah, that is
true. And I don't mean like, hairdressing, but
you probably have nightmares about your hair, Michael.
Oh yes, I do. Yes, I believe. Yeah, I do. I believe split ends. Yeah, they're a thing of the past because my hair's so long now. So I'm thinking of starting a late 1970s rock band, and I think I'd fit in good.
I think that's a great idea.
What do you think about precognitive dreams? And there's a reason I'm asking this, because Michael and I have recently interviewed a lady, and that she has precognitive dreams, where she will dream about an event or a place, and then she'll go to the place, and she's like a deja vu thing.
Yeah.
She actually dreamt about a virus coming in, like a major virus. She saw it like she was walking down the street with her children and her dog, and she saw this, she said, a red virus. And she said, I knew it was a virus. She said, because I used to draw viruses like that at school. And she saw this red virus following them down the street. And then she saw another image in another dream, but on the same night, of a lady in a white coat with a test tube. She dropped the test tube on the floor, and that's how the virus started. So she believes that the dreams she had were to do with COVID. Do you think that's possible?
So precognitive dreaming is a very interesting thing to study, and I really wish there were more research into it, because I think that we probably have precognitive dreams more than we know. What research has been done thus far, I may have the stats wrong, but it's something like just under 10% of all the dreams we'll have throughout our lifetime will be precognitive. And I've had a few. There's really if you look into precognitive dreams of the Titanic, there's some very interesting stories there and these were researched well. They weren't considered precognitive unless the dream played out exactly as the event happened, and if the dream was reported to someone else before the event happened.
Right.
So because it's easy to paint the bullseye around the arrow.
Yeah.
That people had dreams of them sinking on a ship.
The ship hitting an iceberg and sinking.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, the details are very important to be classified as a precognitive dream. Yeah.
And as you say, it needs to be written down and passed to someone before the events happened.
Yes. And also, now her dreams were symbolic. I'm not going to say they're not precognitive, but they were symbolic. So to be classified as a precognitive, you're not going to have symbolism in it. The event in that you dream about is like very normal and literal, and then it actually happens. And that is also connected to deja vu. We're living out a dream we had, we just don't remember dreaming it. That's why it feels so familiar. But I talk to a lot of people who do connect. They remember the dream before the event happens. They're able to connect that already. So it's a really interesting thing that I wish there were more research into it.
Yeah, because sometimes you can dream of something and then it happens, but it's not a pleasant thing that you're dreaming about. You know, maybe dreaming about somebody passing away or an accident, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. Like somebody dreaming about Titanic, just because you've mentioned it, dreaming about Titanic, hitting an iceberg and loss of life, but not being able to do anything about it. And there's that hopeless feeling with that, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, in using the Titanic as the case, they could, not get on the ship. Is that some of the people that did have classified precognitive dreams canceled their trip.
Right.
So the only thing you can do about it is how it affects you.
Right.
Prepare for it, avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very interesting area, isn't it?
And it's also,
I think it is. And for me, a dream for me would be to go to St. Lucia, which I've been to many times, and just hang out on the beach.
That's like a good plan. That's astral traveling.
That's Your subconscious saying, come on down.
Yeah,
What's
that's
the
exactly what I mean.
what's the strangest dream that you've had to interpret for someone without obviously naming names?
Okay, there's so many in my database. Okay, here's a really funny one that stands out to me. This woman dreamt that Danny DeVito was teaching her how to grow eyelashes on her teeth.
Oh my God.
I know.
So how did you interpret that one then?
Okay, so we have the eyes and the teeth brought to attention in the dream. Teeth tend to have to do with the way you're communicating in real life. Eyes are all about your perspective, how you see things, your opinion. Eyelashes enhance the eyes. So the dream was telling her she needs to enhance the way she communicates, because Danny DeVito represents the part of her that's very blunt and insulting to others, because that's typically the type of character he plays, at least the one in Taxi, which is what she associated him with. So
yeah, interesting.
I think that's why dreams and your interpretation of them are very, very symbolic and very helpful to people, because people go to psychiatrists all the time, and they say like blah 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 blah, but you Lauri are so more honest than just saying, okay, now you got hairs in your teeth. Well, that's what this means.
I have not a recurring dream, but it's, thinking about somebody who is well known. Michael knows that I love the Beatles, but I have a recurring dream about Paul McCartney. And it's not a recurring dream. It's just only recurring because he's in it. That's all. So it could be that he's the next door neighbour, or it could be that, I saw him in a shopping mall in one dream. And we stop and we talk as if we know each other. He asked about my family, I asked about his family. It's all very it's comfortable, very, very comfortable dream to have. When in real life, if I saw him, I'd probably just go
right
and not speak to him at all. So how would you explain that I dream about him in various ways? He's normally family orientated. He's normally with a family member.
Okay. Okay, so that's a clue.
Yeah.
But there's always family involved.
Yeah.
So he's become a personal symbol for you, and he likely represents a part of yourself. So what comes to mind when you think of him? How would you describe him, or what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Paul McCartney?
Friendship. Friendship, comfortable. Music is never part of in any way, shape or form. So it's not like he's singing to me or anything like that.
Okay, so outside of the dream,
take
the dream out of it and just think of Paul McCartney as the person, as the celebrity.
Yeah.
What do you think of? Is it a song? Is it something about him? What comes to mind?
Family.
Really?
The family. The fact that he's very protective of his family.
Okay.
He looks after his family. He's very down to earth. So even though he's this superstar, he's a very, very down to earth, approachable person. So that's how I see him. He's very proud of his roots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, of all the things you just described him, do you see yourself that way, or any part of that do you recognize in yourself?
Oh, I suppose, because I do family history. I'm very proud of my family roots. I am very family orientated. Family means everything to me. So I guess so. Yeah, and I do love the Beatles.
So next time you get the dream where Paul is in it, look at the day before and see if you can connect the dots between something going on with family and something that happened in the dream.
Yeah, he gave me a cup of tea over the hedge once.
Oh, that's interesting. Here's my thought on that.
Okay.
Okay, so he handed you tea over the hedge,
Yeah.
which is a separation. So I wonder if at the time, maybe your subconscious was telling you, get in touch with your inner Paul McCartney and make a peace offering or something with a family member where maybe there was a hedge put up.
You know, this is funny because when you're saying that, you know, you automatically sort of, you're linking things like that. What came to mind as you were saying that, bizarrely, was his dog, Martha, that he used to have many, many, many years ago. This dog, because that's my nana's name, is Martha. And that just suddenly came to mind. And of course, she's now with Michael's laughing. He thinks I've totally lost the plot. But that's what came to mind as soon as you said that. Like, there's a separation. Well, my nana's in spirit, and she's been there for quite a long time, and her and I were very close. So yeah, I made that connection straight away with the dog, bizarrely.
I think that's great, but I don't think that we should keep Eleanor Rigby the song in our mind, because that's a very sad song.
It is. I used to love that song when I was little. Do you know that I once sold a pair of dancing pigs to Ringo Starr?
No way. Oh my God.
Really?
Yes, that's my claim to fame.
Awesome.
Yeah, when I was working at my dad's store in Beverly Hills, he came in with his gorgeous wife, and they collect pigs.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and we had in the window this marble statue of two pigs dancing. So he came in and I sold it to him to put on his piano.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh, cool. That's amazing. That was cool.
That's really cool.
Do you think that we can view past lives, I don't, you know, if you believe in reincarnation or past life work, do you think that in dream state we can visit a past life? Is that possible, do you think? I know we can through meditation, but do you think in dreams we can do that? Do we remember things from past lives?
So I'm on the fence on past lives. I just, part of me is like, yeah, I could see how that's a thing, but then the psychological scientific part of me is like, and so also because I've worked with a lot of clients who've had dreams of like hiding in an attic during the Civil War, these sort of things that they assumed was a glimpse into a past life, but when we work through it, it's actually about something going on right now. The Civil War representing a fight within the family situation. So, but I'm certainly not poo-pooing it or closing the door on it. I'm open to that idea. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I do past life work, because I'm a past life regression therapist, so when I do past life work, I work with meditation. We do it in a very, very deep, relaxed way where we go through a meditation rather than, you know, putting the clock in front of somebody's face and saying, you will be a chicken. I don't do any of that. So when we meditate, we reach that alpha state that we reach in dream state, where we can journey, where we allow our subconscious to journey. And so my belief is that we can tap into something subconsciously in dream state that maybe we're shutting off in the daytime, whether it's to help us now with situations, or even like I just said about Martha, you said something, it's a trigger off with me that I went, oh yeah, and that linked in. So my thought pattern is, if we dream about something in particular like that, is it from a past life that has you know had a similar situation then that is now repeating itself now in this lifetime? So that's my thought on it. It could be like a trigger that we subconsciously go, oh yeah, well that happened in the Civil War, or that happened in, you know, whatever. I don't know, because none of us know for certain, of course. But it is an area that is fascinating, that I think it does need more work going into it.
I don't remember the name. Oh, this is terrible that I don't remember this. But the great song, it's just another case of history repeating.
Yeah.
And it was a great song.
Yeah.
And it's so true, because history does repeat itself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does. And we can't get into other people's heads,
Right.
can we? You know, our mind is unique to us. So we can't plug into someone and hear their thought patterns. So we don't know whether we are dreaming and it's a past life, or whether, because it's a personal experience, it's what we feel. So you've written well, you've written a few books, haven't you? But your last book that you've written, is that available on Amazon? Can people get a hold of that on Amazon?
Yes, it's available everywhere and available on Amazon. It's Dream on It. Here it is.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, I love that.
Isn't it pretty?
Isn't that great?
It's a nice thick book.
Oh, nice.
Dream on It, unlock your dreams, change your life. I called it Dream on It because, you know, one of the purposes, the main purpose of dreaming is that we problem solve. And when we have a dilemma in life, we say, well, let me sleep on it. And we say that because we're really dreaming on it.
Yeah. Oh.
So, and it has a nice big dream dictionary in the back. And each chapter covers a different category of dreaming and how it's connected to a certain area of your life. For example, the animal dream chapter is all about how the animals in your dreams will represent your behaviors. The people dream chapter is all about how the different people you dream about represent the different parts of your personality. And there's a chapter on nightmares and a chapter on sex dreams.
If I read that, which I will do, in the animal section, because I have a cat, and he basically claws me in the morning to wake me up. So I'll be like, yeah, no, cat sucks. I love it.
Well, he's hungry.
Yeah. I need to get a copy of that book. I'm going to go on Amazon when we finish on it and find a copy of that and get myself that. Do you have, because you were just talking about animals and things there, what are your thought patterns, or what do you think about animals dreaming, how they dream? Have you gone into that at all?
So animals definitely dream. All warm-blooded mammals dream, except for some reason the platypus. So
you know, a platypus does not dream.
Yeah, see, you learn something new every day. That's your lesson for today.
Oh my gosh. Is it to do with the
platypus
serotonin?
doesn't dream because it's from Australia, and Australia has the weirdest animals in the world.
They do. They've got crazy animals there.
I don't bloody dream.
Is it to do with the serotonin, do you think?
I don't know why they don't. I don't know that they haven't discovered that they have REM dream sleep. Like, your cat, your dog, your horse, even octopus or octopi, they dream. So
my goodness.
The content of their dream we'll never know. That there has been studies on mice where they put mice through a maze in order for them to find a little cheese at the end of it, and they map their brainwave pattern as they're doing that. And then they watch the mice while they're in REM dream sleep, and the brainwave pattern seems to match the same pattern it was doing as they were going through the maze. So from that, we think that for animals, dreaming is about safety and survival. And they probably just dream of how to escape a hungry wolf or how to catch a prey,
Yeah. How to get that piece of cheese quicker.
I wonder if the octopi would dream about, like, if I just had more than 8 tentacles, it would be better.
What would they do with them? There's a really cool video on YouTube if you want to search for it, of an octopus dreaming.
Oh, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah,
octopus dreaming. Yeah,
and she's she's in this big tank, and whenever she goes to sleep, she crawls up in the corner and goes to sleep. But then this guy who keeps her, he's a researcher, he noticed that she was in REM sleep and she was changing colors while she was dreaming.
Awesome.
It's really cool.
Oh, I'm definitely going to have a look at that, and I'm definitely going to get a copy of your book. Absolutely. It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you today. I just love this whole subject of dreams and how they can benefit us if we understand them, because we're only frightened of things we don't understand, aren't we? So if we get to understand them, it takes that fear out of them.
Yeah, we should embrace our dreams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't dismiss them as just a dream, because there's so much more. They're the answers you need for you right now. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to put all of your details at the end of this video. Thank you so much for today. Really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure, and sweet dreams.
And thank you, Lauri.
Thank
it's
you,
so good to see you.
You too.
And it's been so long.
I know. It has been. We need to stay in touch.
Yes.
Absolutely. In your dreams.
Yes. We'll have to do that dream experiment among the three of us.
Yes, that would be good. That would be awesome.
I'll meet you at the Eiffel Tower this evening.
Perfect. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.